And Vogel, they don't they don't respect him. I can tell they don't respect him. Everybody talk back to him. we really don't run. We ain't got a system on offense or defense, really.
I just don't think he has it anymore.
Should any team want Carmelo Anthony?
Blasphemous.
Yes, sir, Carmelo.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Control the Narrative, a podcast where we control the narrative that the media creates. If you're new around here, subscribe to catch our weekly podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And if you're a returner, subscriber, or better yet, a Control the Narrative member, we appreciate you a little more for the members. First off the bat, not feeling too hot right now today. May or may not have to do with the Lakers missing the playoffs and just having to deal with 82 games of this bullshit that we all had to deal with this year. But we have two returning guests who know a thing or two about the game. So just told them before I clicked record, but I'm going to lean on them a little bit this episode. But let's meet them right now. We got Raby in the top right. My guy, how you feeling?
I'm good. I feel like you said.
So into this.
Hey, I'm good.
Cord, how you doing, my guy?
Good, man. How y'all doing?
Good, bro. Good to have you both back on. Both repeat visitors, like I just said. And asked you both for a reason. I know you both know your shit, so have to have you back on, both of you. I guess let's just kick this shit off. We know the Lakers missed the playoffs officially. Last time we recorded an episode last Monday, they haven't officially missed the playoffs yet, but it's official. The season is over. They played 82 games. They went 33-49, 16 games under 500. I could talk about how shitty they were this year, but one thing that, Raby, we'll start with you on this one, that I was kind of curious about to see if other people felt the same way about me was whether or not you thought that they played with a sense of urgency, especially down the stretch, knowing that the playoffs and their season, extending their season, was on the line.
I feel like it was just inconsistent. Like they knew that, just being on the West, it was obviously it's competitive. So, it wasn't like they were ever purposely throwing games, but it was just like, we know Frank had some trash lineups. So it's just kind of like, you can't really get a consistent urgency out of just like multiple players. It's kind of like Dwight Howard. I mean, as professional as he is, I mean, Frank wasn't playing him at all, So for him not playing him, it was just kind of like one of those things like, does he come in with a sense of urgency when he does play? And, for certain other people, do you play with a sense of urgency because you know exactly how many minutes you're going to play a night or, who you're going to guard? So it was just kind of like, I didn't see not one like changed up strategy for any team, barely any plays. So I feel like the only time they really had the sense of urgency was probably after the All-Star break. And then maybe that was because of LeBron and what he was like, oh, we're going to change. Or I don't know if he said that before All-Star break or afterwards, but yeah, that tweet. And I'm like, short-lived. And it wasn't really, and nothing really changed. So I think they knew they needed to get to the playoffs, but it just probably started heightening a little bit more once it was like, oh, you guys really might not make it, And but it was no change. Like what changes did we really see? Nothing changed. The biggest change we saw was Bron playing center, and that was it. He should have been doing that from the jump. Especially with AD being hurt, he could have been playing power forward or whatever the case was. So urgency, I didn't really see a consistency with it, and I don't even really know if they even knew what that really was.
Yeah, good point. Cord, what do you think, bro?
Man, lackadaisical for the most part. I ain't gonna lie. Everybody was up and down. You know what I'm saying? To me, the biggest part, injuries this year. I was watching LeBron press conference. He said him, Russ, and AD played a total of 20 games together for the year. So that's like, just a piece of the season together. But to me, they still didn't fit well together. I seen that Russ like 10, 15 games in. I'm like, this shit ain't gonna work. I seen it. I was like, damn. I'm trying to be, come on, Melo, get your ring. But I'm like, this shit ain't gonna work. And it was up and down. Like you said, the lineups, man, all over the place. Frank, like he didn't know what to do. I don't know if the coaching staff didn't want to step on his toes and maybe tell him, hey, try this. Hey, try this. Let's go big this game. Let's go small this game. Like he was just like, and then it looked like we had a sense of urgency to go get our numbers. Everybody had the green light. People just coming out and jacking. God damn. How everybody got the green light.
I was gonna go there.
Like, and LeBron, they talk about he the best leader in the game, bro. Kobe would not be going for that shit. I'm sorry. Everybody's not pulling. Everybody not got the green light. Play your role, bro. Like, it was inconsistent on the coaching and the players that we had too.
Yep.
So urgency, like he said, the urgency didn't really get there until All-Star. So LeBron made that tweet. Then everybody like, oh shit, let's try to make sure we don't get in the play-in.
Yeah.
Let's get a 6 seed. Then they're like, oh shit, let's try to make sure we make the play. Then LeBron tweaked his ankle. AD out 4-6 weeks. It's just like too much up and down, man. Inconsistency.
Yeah, bro. You know what? I was gonna go there with the whole player shit where it was like you felt the urgency from the players to get their numbers for sure.
For sure.
LeBron, LeBron had a good season. Something that when people say, oh, he didn't stat pad or anything, this one moment is all you needed to know. They were down by 5 to the Blazers with 3 seconds left. They were inbounding. And LeBron
You posted it today.
LeBron shoots a 3. And I think that got him to 30 points. It's like, come on, bro. So like to get their numbers for sure. And also, one thing that it wasn't adding up to me was in the media, in the post-game interviews, in the practice interviews, and all this shit, all they talked about, this team, the players, the coaches, all this shit, was how they need to have that sense of urgency, how, it's time to, and again, I've talked about this a lot, but flip that switch over the last few weeks, month of the season. And they all said the right things. They all said, yo, we're working on it. We're out there playing for each other and all this shit. But then when they were actually out on the court, you didn't see it. So I don't understand how you could say that shit and then not go out and do it. If you're not going to go out and do it, then don't even say, like, why are you wasting your breath? Why are you wasting – you're giving all of us hope. It's like, oh, shit, all right, well, LeBron just tweeted this. Melo just said this. Westbrook just said this. And then they go out and do it, and it's like, wow, like, I don't understand how they couldn't connect those dots because they're such a veteran team. And we talk about Vogel, and did not do a great job this year, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I also think that this wasn't a young team, so it's not like there's a bunch of dudes who need to be coached. Like LeBron knows what to do. Melo knows all these guys know what to do. It's a bunch of veterans. So that's also another piece where I'm like, how does this add up? Where there's dudes who've been in this spot before. There's dudes who are saying the right thing, but then when it actually gets to the game and out there to back their words up, it just wasn't adding up. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like this just it doesn't make sense.
Facts.
I think too. I was watching Melo's interview. He was saying that they were, as they were getting pieces together, they were like, okay, we got this piece, we got this piece. So he was saying that at one point, when the team was actually had full roster, that's when you could see like, okay, we got a chance. Like you could see like the full, just power or whatever the case is of the team. So he was saying when one person, gets injured or whatever, it puts them back. And I think I felt like with the additions of Monk and you had, we thought THE was going to play, even better, but I ain't going to go in on him. But you get Kendrick Nunn, and then you still have AD. And then who else other than Reeves, being on the team? I mean, we had these solid mix of ages. We didn't have like a full old team. And Russ, he didn't get hurt, so he played all the games. So I mean, we still had the ability to run a fast break and still have a high powered offense. So I think with Kendrick Nunn being hurt, maybe that was like a really big deal because I mean he could have did a lot of things. He could have played on the second string or whatever. But then we get Bazemore and Ellington, and like you said, they were the ones that was pulling. At some points Bazemore would play pretty good, but then he had a really bad stretch and he wasn't even playing anymore. And then you get Ellington, he starts pulling, and he's like, what the freak is this dude doing? And then you have a good night, and it's like rest of the season, you don't even really see him. So that's where it was just kind of like, it's kind of like Frank, even though I feel like he did a poor job because of mainly the rotations and the stuff that he still did not fix even before Melo gets there. Now you put in these vets in these situations where they have to guard these younger guys or teams that actually strategize against the actual team that they're playing that night. And we did not strategize against not one freaking team. I never saw not one change. And I know I already said it, but like, bro, you got vets on the team. So if you're the coach and you got vets on the team, I mean, it's just like, why is Bron still having the ball at the top of the key and you got all these non-shooters on the side? You get Avery Bradley. He could hit a couple, but he's not lights out. You know, you get Monk on the bench. You got Melo on the bench. Like, you just want Bron and AD to just carry the whole load in the beginning, and then what? Then you want to get your shooters hot? Like, that's not how that works. Like, you got Ellington guarding other guys. Like, he's supposed to guard Booker. He's supposed to guard like, it's mad. So it's like people will sit there and say, well, it's not Frank's fault. And he did feel like a slight, like this slight, like, oh, I feel bad for Frank, but only because the Lakers didn't even put no type of message. It just said, thank you, coach. So, but I'm like, you got to know how to put your vets in the right place. Like, you don't just leave them on the island with CP3 and, Booker and not have no help. Like, that don't make any sense. Like, it's just little stuff that was just messed up. So it's unfortunate, man.
I got something that I think would have helped a lot of things. And Corey, we'll go to you on this one.
Yo, real quick, sorry to interrupt if you're watching on YouTube or listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, but just wanted to let you know that we have merch at Control the Narrative, and it's pretty fire, in my opinion. This is the Pixel Melo t-shirt that I'm rocking. Anything from Cuse Melo to New York Melo, Hoodie Melo. On this shirt, we got Scapegoat merch, we got Black Ball merch, we got just regular Control merch. Shop CTRL the Narrative.com. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, beanies, stickers. Shop CTRL the Narrative.com. I think I got my point across. Go check it out. I bet you'll find something you like. Appreciate the support as well. Obviously, the merch sales help us fund these podcast episodes that we get to record every single week. So appreciate you. And back to the show.
When they traded Rajon Rondo.
Oh, I was about to say that. You beat me to it.
I feel like that was a huge, not necessarily momentum shift or turning point or anything like that in their season, but I feel like they really, really missed his presence throughout the rest of the year. So, Cord, just how much do you think the Rondo trade affected the team, if at all? If not,
man, hands down, Rondo the best pure point on the team. Him and LeBron. I mean, LeBron too, of course, LeBron. But Rondo, you can see the difference. When Rondo hit the game, everybody can, like, the ball moving, driving, kick. Like, everybody started making the extra pass because he was making the extra pass. And when like Russ, when he got the ball, y'all notice. And another thing, why they let Russ ISO so much? He would be on the one side. It take him 15 seconds to make his move. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what are we running? You used to see Melo do this a lot. He like, what we running? If y'all pay attention, he'd be like, what we running? Yeah. He'll just hold it, dribble, same little move. Like, but Rondo always looking for the next pass. If he scores, it's like, okay, shot clock going down. Let me get something off. But he's not really looking to score, and that killed us. And LeBron this year, let's keep it 100. LeBron really wasn't really trying to get his assist numbers up this year. He wasn't moving the ball for real. LeBron he didn't pass much this year to me. I mean, I don't know what y'all saying. He didn't pass much and he didn't play much defense this year. Yeah, he scored. He got buckets. Still athletic when he healthy. I give him that. I ain't gonna just beat LeBron up like that. But he wasn't that old LeBron. I felt like Melo would average 20 points with LeBron this year. I just felt like dang, he never played with LeBron. LeBron gonna be looking for Melo. Melo good at this. Melo good at this. Yeah, LeBron good at this. They'll mesh well together. I mean, early in the year, they all look for Melo when he was hot, but I feel like I got a little jealous of Melo. And then everybody started playing selfish at one point. Shit, sometimes Melo get the ball. I'm like, dude, don't even look to pass, please. I'm like, dude, stop being selfish. They doing it.
Yeah, because he touched it 4 times a game, so when he gets it, you're like, fuck. Yeah.
Y'all seen Cardio Melo out there, man? Come on, man. I'm like, dude, you running. All he do at one point, all he could do was run sprints and set screens. Set screens and run sprints. I'm like, dude. Nah, dude.
Hey, bro, they was using Melo as a decoy.
Bruh. And this man can score. I'm sitting here watching every game. Like, he scored easier than anybody on the team. Maybe except AD when healthy. I mean, because he's still in his prime. But I'm looking like, dude, 1 or 2 dribbles get to his spot. Bam. everybody was playing selfish though. But and you can see the frustration on his face because he's a fan favorite. After about game 20, 30, it changed when THT came back though. Honestly, the Milwaukee game, if y'all remember, look back. Yeah, it changed.
Yeah,
So it changed the whole. When Rondo, that was two big key points. Rondo left and THT. I don't know which. Like, yeah, but that was two big. Like, like, and Vogel, like, they don't like they don't respect him. I can tell they don't respect him. Everybody talk back to him. we really don't run. We ain't got a system on offense or defense, really. Honestly, like he said, we play everybody the same in pick and roll coverage. Our pick and roll was terrible. We played drop on everybody. Almost like, dude, it was trash. They were leaving Melo on the island, Dwight on the island. DeAndre Jordan. Nah, I agree with him getting traded. Okay, that was okay. He wasn't. He was selling himself. He had to go. I ain't gonna lie. Because they weren't playing him anyway.
Yo, real quick to your point about LeBron, I just want to throw this in here. LeBron averaged 6.2 assists a game this year. That was the lowest assist average he's had since 2011, 2012 in Miami, when he also averaged 6.2.
Hands down.
So the least he's passed in 9 years.
Bro, he made a lot of selfish plays. Like, he's been selfish a lot. Settled for a lot of bomb threes. Like, I wish LeBron would change his game. My bad, I didn't cut you off, but I wish LeBron would change his game a little bit. Like, start from the block. Like, he trying to get down here all game. Dude, you 38, about to be 38 this year. Dude, you can't get down here for your. I mean, you asking for injuries. Kobe didn't play like that. Jordan didn't play like that. Melo didn't play like that. All these guys, when they got older, they switched their game up some. Yeah, you still athletic, but dude, you really beating yourself up. Honestly, that's how I look at it.
Good point, Robbie.
I feel like this is going to be it's a tough conversation because there's some parts in it that basically LeBron. It's like he was trying to prove that he is a scorer, and when he basically gets that all-time position on that list. He already made a comment like, "Oh, they say I'm not a scorer now." Remember when he got he got whatever points or whatever, and he signed his own ball, and he needed to put that out there, whatever the case is.
In a loss.
So obviously Jordan and Kobe comes up now. Stat wise, I was even asking some people. I was like, what's the definition of the greatest of all time? Is it the person that has the greatest numbers all around stats, or is it the greatest scorer, or is it the one with with great stats and also who influence society the most? And I'm like, if we say as all-time stats, it got to be LeBron because he is in top 10 almost everything except like blocks, but everything like as far as scoring and assists, like you'll see his name. You don't see Kobe, you don't see Jordan, right? So, but we say like eye test and we just say Hoopers alone, nobody's really going to put anybody above probably Kobe and Jordan other than like scoring. You say KD, Kyrie or something like that, right? Because it's skill. So Bron almost got that scoring title this season. So one of those things is like, I just told one of my kids, I'm like, this game is really about scoring. When it's all said and done, because that's how it is. You got NBA scoring over 130 points a game or whatever the case is. But every top 100 ESPN kid in every class is typically a scorer. So if you get 5 assists, that's great. I just literally told a kid who's averaging 14 points a game right now, best kid on the team, and he has like 6 assists or maybe 7 or 8 and like 8 rebounds. I'm like, bro, you can easily improve your 14 and go to 18 just by cutting that down to 5 assists a game. That way now, like you just mentioned about 4 possessions for Melo, now you got 2 more possessions that you can add to your own stuff because that's really what the college team coaches are going to look at. And I told them, you're not going to average 18 when you get to that college team because typically you may go down to 6 or 5 or whatever, but they have more advanced stats. They have more stats that say, okay, how did he really affect the game? And then you hear these commentators, they'll give him all these different accolades, talk about his work ethic, whatever the case is, and those guys still end up getting drafted. So going back to freaking to Bron, I didn't mind him not throwing a bunch of assists because I wasn't thinking he's going to average 8 because who do we have on the team? Freaking Russ. We all knew Russ was going to try to get triple-double. And the problem that I have when it comes down to Rondo was, where are you going to put Rondo if Russ is taking – if you have another LeBron, basically, a smaller version of LeBron, but you have Russ doing who he is, and then you put Rondo in, it's like he has to rush his game and try to go hurry up and get and then do him. And if he doesn't do him in enough time, then okay, yeah, we're going to sub you back out for Russ or whatever the case is. But it's like, if you don't have Bron on the wing, then you have him being point forward again to sit there and get assists or whatever the case is, or set up the offense. Everybody is standing still. Rondo doesn't play with guys who stand still because he's not a one-on-one player to make space and then pass out. That's Bron. That's Russ. Rondo is, let's get this offense flowing, let's get the fast break going. And we didn't have none of that crap. We didn't have room for him to do what he did. So his stats right now, going to Cleveland, he was averaging 16 minutes with us or something like that. I think he's averaging maybe 16 or 19 minutes with Cleveland. And he went from like 3 points a game to like 6. And then he went from he basically increased his assists per game like 1.5. But you can tell those guys are younger over there. Those guys move. Those guys run. The coach has an actual offense. They actually move around. And you can see he was wrong. Like, you saw that pass that he just recently threw?
Yep.
Like, those dudes are out there. That's supposed to be Bron. That's supposed to be Bron on the fast break. What have you seen more so? Bron taking it himself all the way down from the full court and doing what he does, which is totally fine, but it's going to come down to that didn't really help the team at all at the end of the day, because AD, you have Bron first, obviously, in points. Then you have AD. Bron was like 31 a game. AD was like 24. Then you have Russ at 18. And then guess who's next? Melo. He's at 14. Or Monk.
Yeah.
Monk is
That
like
was like
15.
13. Both of them like 13 apiece, right?
Yeah. Monk is like, Monk's like 15.
41, so Monk.
Yeah, Monk, and then you got Melo. I'm just like, bro, that's how you have a massive point difference between 31 to 24. Obviously, AD gets hurt, so he's not really doing whatever. But it's like, that's not going to help everyone on the team because everybody has to play a role. If you don't have these guys playing their role that they've been playing, especially veterans, they're not going to produce. Yeah. Why do you bring Trevor Ariza? Like, why? Why did you bring him?
He is washed as fuck too.
Who's supposed to give him those passes? It's supposed to be Rondo. It's supposed to be Bron. He ain't getting no passes. So I don't. It was just kind of messed up. But all I'm saying is basically Bron we can't really attack him so much on those assists because when we talk about scores, he's going to be talked about as a scorer. Nobody's going to care about his assists, especially this season. Nobody's going to care about his assists.
Yep.
Nobody's going to say 6 assists is bad because at the end of the day, Kyrie averages 5. KD probably averaged 4 or 5. Curry averages freaking 4 or 5. Harden, he averages 9.8, 20 points a game. So the game has changed a lot. So you can't really hurt him on that one, but we did think that, the offense would have been flowing, and that goes back to Frank.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that was my whole thing with asking this question is, it felt like there was so many times out there where the team just wasn't organized. And I'm looking at LeBron's stats right now, and again, not doing no calculator boys bullshit, but he had 21.8 shots a game. That was the most he's taken since 07-08. So he had taken more shots than he has in quite a long time, and he's averaged the least amount of assists that he's averaged. And I felt like if there was 1 year to do that, it was not this year. They needed somebody to get Monk involved. And Monk got involved for sure. They needed somebody to get Melo involved. Melo, as we know, didn't really get too involved. He was just standing in the corner waiting for somebody to pass on the ball. Mm-hmm. And again, it was a weird fit, 100% with LeBron, Rondo, and Russ, all guys who, need the ball in their hands and facilitate offense and things like that. So fair enough. I just think that he did so many great things defensively, offensively, and more than all of that, it's just getting everybody on the same page. And I feel like not all of the shit, but I feel like there was a decent amount of shit that was happening later in the season with the team giving up on fucking possessions and doing things like that I feel like Rondo, as a coach on the floor, like we saw with Kidd in 13 and a lot of times with Billups and shit like that, he would not have let that shit fly. And I just felt like they really, really missed his presence on the floor when they traded him.
I agree. I agree.
All right, last interruption, because if you're watching or listening to the podcast for this long, you probably fuck with us. And if you fuck with us, you'll probably fuck with all the perks that you get from being a Control the Narrative member, whether that's access to our invite-only Discord where we're talking basketball all the time, or opportunities to join the next episode of Control. So whenever we need a guest, I go in our Discord, I say, yo, who's free? Who wants to hop on the next episode? And I pick from there. You get 20% off merch forever, and then you also get member exclusive merch, all by being a member. Tiers start at $2 a month. So if you fuck with us, go check out a membership, CTRLthenarrative.com, and I will see you in the Discord. All right, back to the show for good.
All right, let's get to Carmelo Anthony. Robbie, we'll go back to you on this one. Did Melo play better than you thought he would when we came into the season? Or did he meet your expectations? What was your thoughts on how
he did? He did. Honestly, I think I was more annoyed that they were using him as a shooter. And I mean, it was kind of just we know our boy can shoot. We know he can shoot threes and all that stuff. But it was just those situations where Russ or Ron get into trouble. In the double when they drive and they got to kick out. You don't want Melo to be in those bailout situations, but he was shooting so good, in the first half of the season that, we want him out on the floor. But then everything changed. We all saw the ones who know them freeze him. And he had 2 back-to-back games where, what was it, 20-something points, 25, shooting above 60%, whatever the case is, even from 3. Yep. He was all-time 3-point, or 3-point percentage best of the season, or that leader of the season or whatever. Yep. And that next game he gets 8 points, or he doesn't get no touches. You see everybody kind of passing him up, and it's just he's scoring on the 3-point line, and he's not even playing his mid-range game. He's still trying to play defense. He's still doing what he's doing. So, I did really love how he played. I wasn't expecting him to be a shooter off the back. But I just think overall, I mean, the dude, he's a rhythm scorer. So if you don't get him in rhythm, the points, him coming in at 4 minutes or 3 minutes into the first quarter, second quarter, he's getting first 5 minutes, getting out, maybe playing the last. What the hell is that?
It's hard to get it.
Even if he's hot, what really defines him being hot? Coach sees him hit a couple mid-range, you're oh, no. And you see Bron coming there. All right, I'm coming in now. Bro, what? When I see Rondo come in and I see Ellington on the floor or I see Monk and I see Melo or whatever, I'm Rondo sees green. He sees green lights. He sees I'm about to run the floor. And they stop playing Rondo. And now Bron's in the rotation. Or actually, I'm sorry, Russ was in the rotation. That's when it messed up every freaking thing. You shouldn't have Russ and Melo on the same floor when Russ, especially also when AD is on the floor, Russ literally kept going to the one side opposite of Melo. And Melo gets his cardio, he goes straight to the corner because he already knows. And I'm just bro, that's where I would say that's what I wasn't expecting. And I was telling Steve a lot. I was bro, you were the one in the beginning. I was you really didn't like this move. You really didn't like this move, and I understand why. Because in the beginning, I was Steve, just let it go. It's got to be positive, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was bro, I regret everything I said because
I swear
Melo is I always say my second favorite player, but he's pretty much tied with Kobe because there's not one time when I watch Melo's highlights on YouTube versus Kobe's highlights that I don't get the same feel. I literally get the same feel. So they're 1A, 1B, 1A, 1.1 or whatever you want to call it. But for them to do what they did and for him to still produce, I'm still proud of that. And, we know he could have averaged 20 or more. We know that. So,
yep.
What else can I say?
Facts. Cord, what more can you say?
I agree, man. Hey, he wasn't used like he should have been, but early in the season, they were actually looking for him. I will say, first 10, 20 games, he come in, the crowd going crazy. Melo, fan favorite. It changed. I don't know if they got a little jealous. I don't think LeBron did because LeBron know he always can get his opportunities whenever. I think Russ got a little jealous. TST when he came, he got a little jealous. Monk, played better, but he never really looked for Melo for real though. Like he respect him as an OG, but he wasn't really like, all right, Melo, get to your spots. They weren't really looking for him. Rondo was, but
that's exactly why. Yep.
And then Melo, one of them type of guys. Okay, I knew his role was gonna be mainly shoot threes, post every now and then. But y'all gotta understand, Melo got to touch it. He got to feel it, which is why Melo first get in the game. If you're a Melo fan, you know what he do. He get the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He get sometimes the ref don't. Yeah, he always do that because I might if they might throw it to him in a catch and shoot. I ain't used to just catching and I've been sitting on the bench the first 8 minutes. Hey, let me touch it. So they don't let him touch it. Then he go 0 for 3. You get on Twitter, on Lakers Nation, all that love. They killing him. Melo, he sucks. He's like, dude, he ain't getting the ball. I'm like, that's not his game. But you know what I'm saying?
I can't believe we even talking about that.
Right. They didn't draw nothing up for him for real though. Like, and I hate it when he shared minutes with Russ. Like he said, like Russ will go to him after he probably made 2 turnovers. He missed 2 shots. Now he like, all right, Melo.
Bro, Steve. Oh, I don't know. Did he freeze?
I think Cord froze up. Yeah. Go ahead, Raby, until he gets back.
Well, I think for both of y'all, if y'all remember this. Oh, there he is.
Okay.
Are you finished what you were saying, bro?
Yeah, I was just saying. Russell, he'll miss 2 shots. He'll throw 2 turnovers, and then he'll see the frown on Melo's face. So he like, all right, Melo, let me throw you a bone. Let me throw you a bone down there. I'm like, shit, he tired now. He done ran 8 sprints. I'm like, dude, you just like. And Vogel, he didn't. I don't know what happened towards the end of the season. Somebody got in Vogel. He finished with from 25, 30 to like 12, 16, 17 minutes. And I don't know like how that happened. Like, I know him and Melo had a couple words like a couple times too. We're gonna talk about that. But overall, he played the best he could play. Like he averaged 13.5. If utilized correctly, we know he could have averaged 18, 20. Now 2 things I'm gonna hit Melo on, like that's my favorite player of all time. So, but I still gotta give him a little criticism.
Of course.
2 things. Well, one of them it's not his fault because his age, but the back-to-backs, Melo, like he didn't have them legs on them back-to-backs. I will say that even especially with the way they use him, it was kind of tough because his shots so spaced out anyway. He getting a shot every 7 minutes, kind of hard. So, but his legs, he's struggling.
Froze up again. Raby, go ahead. Say what you're gonna say.
Well, when he come back, he probably go. Oh, there he is.
Man, my Wi-Fi tripping, bro. Yeah. But the back-to-backs were hurt. It hurt him. Like this age, just it's just he's 37, so I expected his back-to-backs not to be great, but the man in the ball, bro, it's just
all
right. Melo's out they'll probably killed his ego by being at the league. We know it dropped the ego down. The old Melo, New York, Denver, Melo, he asked for it, bro, give me the damn ball. We know that's his attitude. He know he can score whenever he wants to. But a lot of times he let it go on. And Melo didn't want to step on toes. He did the same thing in Portland a lot of times. CJ, Dame, Anthony,
and
OKC, he don't want to step on toes now because he know the narrative. He know the narrative on him now. So he kind of trying to take the chill role. Let me do the right thing. Let me be a good guy because I want to go out on my own terms. Physically, he could play another 2-3 years easy at a high level still because you see he in the best shape of his life, body and everything, so. But just the man in the ball, I feel like he could have probably been a little more aggressive on the offensive end. A lot of times he passed us some shots because he was trying to do the right thing. Yeah. But overall, if I grade him, he may have been a B+, A-. Like, what else really could he have done with the opportunities he had?
Yeah.
But, man, what else could he really have done?
Fair point.
Yeah.
Raby, go ahead.
What you give him, Steve? What you grade?
Me? All right, fine. Let me go real quick. I'll probably give him a B+. Again, like Raby said, like coming into the season, I knew, and like a lot of people knew, like this is what's gonna happen. Melo's gonna be sitting in the corner. They got Russ, they got LeBron, they got Rondo. They have a lot of guys who demand the ball. How much are they gonna give it to Melo in the post, on the block, at the elbow, all these different places? So, I kind of knew what we were getting into. Again, nobody thought the Lakers were gonna be this bad, but I was like, all right, well, if Melo just is a contributor to a championship team, it's cool. And you look at his 2-point percentage, highest in his career, highest 2-point percentage in his year, in his career. 3-point percentage, 37.5. Pretty good. Not
what's
like
the highest? What's the highest of his 3-point percentage?
The highest was last year in Portland, 40.9. And to be honest with you, bro, that's why when he started that season off, shooting like 45% from three, like over the first 15
he was top
games,
3 in the league for a minute. Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, bro. Like, I did not expect this because we all know Melo's a rhythm player, so he wasn't getting those post touches, and he was knocking down every three. And I was like, I'm not mad at this, but like, okay, like, cool, I'll take this. And then obviously, the law of averages over the rest of the season kind of definitely evened out. But yeah, man, I like you said, Cord, I think he played the best that he could in this position. As primarily a spot up shooter, he played decent defense, and I want to touch on that because everybody knows the narrative around Melo, and there were Lakers Twitter accounts and Lakers blogs and all these different people were watching Melo who were like, oh shit, wait, he's actually playing decent defense, or like, yo, he's not as bad on defense as everybody says and all this shit. So that was cool. So I'll probably give him a B plus. But again, Cord, I think you're on the spot with A minus because what more else could he have done?
What more could he have done?
And leader on the court defensively, I think he held his own for sure. Averaged a career high in blocks as well. So I think he did his part, and he's one of the few guys on this team that you can play.
Yep, facts. I agree with that. Like it's like, and they tried to build this narrative. Melo blow one defensive assignment. Oh, they go crazy. I'm looking at the blogs and the Twitter accounts. I'm like, man, chill. Like Russ don't play defense. LeBron really don't play defense. Dwight can't move his feet in pick and roll. Like trust me, he's not nearly the worst defender on the team as y'all think. It's just the narrative they built. Media through all these years, they just run with it. But like the game against Golden State at home, like, bruh, like
he blocked through a pool.
Three major defensive stops in a row. He ripped Steph. The ball went off Steph's foot, leg, or something. Yep. Blocked Wiggins, I think, going to the rim.
I think it was Wiggins.
Yeah, another play. Like I'm like, oh, and this is like a championship contender team. Like
these are all non-fans talking too. All non-fans.
They look for Melo to mess up. Like Melo one of the most hated in the league still. How I don't know.
Well, so I was gonna ask you guys because honestly, I didn't really watch a lot of the OKC season that he had because I mean it was short lived. But anytime I do watch the highlights, of Melo scoring, you do see Russ passing it to him a lot more. So I did bring up the fact that we know. I brought up this to someone else, but he's getting paid a vet minimum. So when he got brought to this team, he wasn't that number 3 guy. You guys remember that picture? Just Russ, AD, and Brown, or whatever the case is. Typically, you would say big 4, but when you put it out on the social media that he's not, they're not promoting him as big 4, especially when you ain't getting paid that much, nearly as they are.
Yeah.
You're not that big 4 guy. So, I think Russ, if you guys speak on it, I feel like Russ was more accepting and more like open to really trying to vibe with Melo on the court. And I don't know, obviously, how their on off court stuff is or whatever the case is. He didn't throw any type of shade to Russ, not one time this whole season, not even in the exit interview.
Friends. No, they're friends.
Yeah. So on the court, it seems like Russ and Melo was really vibing when they were in OKC, and now Melo's not that same option on Russ's team, and I feel like he wasn't giving him as much as a respect as before. But y'all can speak on that.
I'm gonna speak on that first, Steve. You got it. I think a big part of that is LeBron. He kind of had to compete with LeBron with ball handling responsibilities. If you watch Skip and Shannon today, he talked about how Scott Brooks let him have his way. Like he did whatever he wanted to do. He didn't have Vogel in his way. He didn't have Brown in his way. So when he got the ball, he knew what he wanted to do. He didn't have to fight with LeBron with all that. He had Paul George, but he knew it was his team. He knew that he was the franchise cornerstone. So he didn't have to worry about that. His mind was kind of boggled this year with, okay, I got to play good enough. When LeBron get in, I know I'm not going to be able to hand the ball, but he did whatever he wanted to do in OKC. So he had time to, all right, Melo, get to your spots. I'm going to get my 25 shots regardless. This is my team. Like, who gonna get mad at me?
Yep.
Scott Brooks let me do what I want to do. So Melo was getting now, but they did make him a spot up shooter a lot because me and Steve were talking about this last time. The first 3 or 4 games where Melo had like 20 plus games starting off, and Paul George started complaining. So that kind of made Melo be that 3rd, 4th option a little bit. But I feel like this year he kind of was fighting with LeBron on ball handling responsibility. So when he got the ball a lot of time, he was just trying to go get his. Like, let me go get mine. I hear the media. Let me go get mine. He's like, he really was overlooking Melo. Yeah. And you got THT come in. He overlooked Melo. Monk trying to make a name for himself and finally get his big payday. So Melo was kind of in that mix, like, what I do? Like, you know what I'm saying? But that could be true, though. Like you said, he could have vibed with Melo a little bit more, OKC. I had to really think on it a little bit more, but I think he was kind of tugging with LeBron a little bit on, let me get mine, man. You know?
That's fair. You know, that's all 100% true. I genuinely believe that. I also think that they needed Melo in OKC.
Yeah.
Like, to your point, Robbie, I think salaries are so underrated in terms of a player's involvement in a team because you look at THT. If THT was on a vet min, or if he was getting paid $3 million or $4 million or $5 million, whatever it was, he would not have gotten the leash that he got this year because they were paying him. He was on a 3-year, $30 million contract. So in OKC, they were paying Melo his Knicks contract, which I think it was like 28 or it was like something like that. So they needed that shit to work. So I think it could have been in the game plan. It could have been like Russ being like, all right, I need him because he's a part of the team. But we talked about this over the past few weeks where it seems like Melo accepting these vetman contracts, you know, he's doing the right thing, right? He's taking less money. He's going to a team that doesn't have a lot of financial flexibility to take him on, and he could help this team win. All fair. But it seems like as soon as that gets to, oh, shit, all right, well, you know, he's only worth 2.8 million or whatever the fuck the vetman is. It just seems like it's not that big of a deal if he's not involved or if he's not contributing because we're paying THT $10 million a year. We're paying Monk $5 million. We're paying all these things. So I think it's a mix of it. I definitely think it's a mix of it of, Russ for sure. You know, he was talking in the exit interview about how he didn't, you know, he wasn't really allowed to be himself this year and he kind of felt restricted and all these different things with him and Vogel. He said a few things about Vogel that was like eye-opening. I was like, word, yeah. So, in OKC, it was his team. He got to do whatever the fuck he wants. So, like, when you have the ball 80 times in your hands a game, like, you'll drop it into Melo like 3 times versus on this Lakers team where it's like, all right, now Melo's role, he's only getting the vet men. Just go stand in the corner and whatever you do, contribute. Yep. That's great. So,
and then he's never played with LeBron and AD too. So you know, not making a bunch of excuses for Russ, but what you guys already kind of said,
it's different for him.
It really does make a big difference. And Ron, you know, other than KD that Russ has played with, you know, he got to see KD kind of, you know, get in his bag or whatever. And even when he was on the Wizards, you know, seeing Bradley Beal do what he does, but they were never. I feel like Bron is like the only one who takes as much time as he does to kind of score or kind of get that little show stuff that he does, you know, and you know, 39 points this game, 50 this or whatever. It's cool, but it's like I've watched games where I see Russ just kind of sitting there. He's just kind of like, you know, just watching. You know, he's kind of just watching. And then even imagine you go hoop with a hooper or you go to LA Fitness and it's this guy that's just constantly getting the ball because somebody's, you know, recording him for YouTube and all that crap and Instagram highlights. And you came to hoop. You want to move around, but everybody's just staying there, you know. And he's in his bag, and he can score. But at the end of the day, like, did you even get a good workout? Did you do you? You know, and when he's out, and then you feel like, okay, cool, I'm gonna be in. But then, like you said, Melo was in that mix, like behind Monk and THT, all these younger guys, and you know, trying to get their stuff. And so now it's kind of making a lot more sense. And I wouldn't really want Melo to even come back because it's like that salary is going to keep putting that value in there. I feel like the only place he can go is like Knicks or Nets, who actually would be like, bro, let's pay you $10 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, pay
or you know what, bro? Like, even if it's a vet man or like a low contract, he has people in his corner here. He has nobody in his corner.
Leon off the rip. Leon,
exactly. Leon, Tibbs. All the players on the teams who respect the shit out of him. Obi Toppin, Art, like all these dudes. So he has
Yep.
played, and we'll get into that over the next few weeks.
Mhm.
And Cord, we'll go to this question. You got one more thing?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say we'll get to this question because we talked a lot of shit about the Lakers, rightfully so. This was a season from hell. Carmelo Anthony was on a team who was expected to win a championship. They didn't make the play-in, and Carmelo wasn't really involved like we had hoped he was. So really, like the worst of both worlds. And I want to get to this question before our time runs out. If you had to pick one high point of the season, so it could be a game, it could be a span of games, it could be a moment, whatever you want it to be. What do you think the high point of the season was for you?
Oof, bro. Like a game? Probably like that. What you posted that Charlotte game?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got used a lot that game. Like I felt like, dang, they really like he really doing this. Like they probably could win a chip. Like, cause they letting him work. We winning. Like it's up and down, but I seen like, okay, they using Melo. Okay.
Yeah.
I like a lot of people
Like lagging again, bro.
was like playing this game. He ain't. I'm on.
Yeah, you're good now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, my bad. Yeah, but I probably say around between game 20 and 30. I don't remember exactly. It's hard to give some positive feedback on this season, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like,
yeah.
When Melo was just a fan favorite, at the time when Melo was a fan favorite, that's when it was probably the high. Like, standing ovation when Melo come in the game, I felt good to see him get that. See him get that love again. It felt like it was New York for one point, just for a little bit. But it's
there
hard
was
to
a real Melo mania going on early in the season.
Yeah.
They really was supporting my boy.
Yeah. Then after the game, everybody getting asked the same question. So what do you think about Carmelo asking all 80s, bro? Like it felt good to see that, but I don't know if everybody probably was taking it the same way.
Yeah. Good point.
Bro,
it's so crazy how we talk about that. We're like, LeBron's supposed to be his brother. Melo's cool with Russ off the court. Like, they're legit friends. It seems like Melo and AD are pretty cool off the court and shit like that. They were always chopping it up and shit. So it's weird when, like, you say some things and then automatically people are going to be like, yo, what the fuck are you talking about? But there's no other explanation for it. Like, you could talk about the money. You could talk about all these things. But at the end of the day, it just seems like, again, and it's crazy that we've talked about this over the last few years with Portland and CJ and Anthony Simons and guys like that, where it's like, all right, Melo got his, now I'm gonna get mine. It's crazy.
Yep. And I mean, I feel like that's the game. That's like, for example, you can go watch YouTube highlights of Rico Hines' runs, and all these NBA players get there, pro guys, even some college guys, high school guys that are high level. And they've had conversations about playing basketball the right way. But, you see highlights, Kyrie or James Harden, Russ, when he was there, whenever they run, they get theirs. It's a different style of basketball because of the fact that you're not in the system. The system is you're playing, you're hooping, who's going to score. You're not passing out of shots. You got less than 9 seconds to score. You're moving the ball around. If you get the ball, especially if you're new, you got to hit it. You got to hit that shot. If you don't, you're going to have to go to the other court, or if you lose, especially if you're on Harden's team or, a Stars team, then you ain't going to play again on that guy's team. But at the end of the day, they do talk about making sure you are getting to your spots, so they all know how to play the game, highly competitive. And I feel like, when it comes down to just being a role player, I feel like it's not really the same as it was back in the day. Like I said, it can still come down to scoring. So even with, let's say we go back to the Blazers, CJ could see Melo work, and do his thing. And then, like, we're not even talking about contract stipulations, or things that they have in their contract. You just saw Drew Holiday come into the game and get his little bonus, $255K bonus. So little stuff like that, you never know what they got in their contracts. So if Melo is in the mix of that, he's in the mix of, he was in the Blazers. You got CJ McCollum doing his thing, and then you get Powell, he comes in and he's shooting all types of stuff. You know, it's tough for a guy like Melo, where we go back and say like you wasn't demanding the ball. It really makes you think like, you know, really like what was your main role? Like if he really didn't shoot all those shots, they could have treated him like Bazemore. Let's just be honest. They could have treated him like Bazemore and not played him. They could have just ended up playing freaking, you know, Dwight Howard more, and they probably would have put LeBron at the power forward position a lot early. You're telling me Melo couldn't go to the high post at one point and get that space and do what he does? You're telling me you couldn't put Rondo running the point or whatever? You don't even have to have a point to specifically facilitate, because AD can bring the ball up freaking half court. It's just about what do you need to put Rondo in? Obviously a PNR, pick and roll situation. Did you have any of that with Melo? No. How many times did you know? So it's really like the game has changed a lot. But at the same time, you get an organization like this with a coach with a mindset the way he has, then you get a whole different type of ball game. Because Melo in another situation with a better coach, you put him on the Bucks, he's easily a different player. You put him on.
What he did when he went from New York to
you put him on the Clippers, bro. Ty Lue would have used him the right way. Like, it's just coaching. It comes down to coaching. So the game has changed a lot within role playing, but at the same time, Melo played his role to perfection and in the situation that he had. And I just feel like it was just it's not enough room for him to do what he does. Like I saw somebody comment and say he's probably in New York right now at the gym. You know, shooting. Yeah, so I mean, you already know these highlights for the summer are going to be crazy because he's that guy. He's that guy.
He ready to unleash them buckets.
I want to see that guy come out next year, and it's not with the Lakers, bro. It's not. Yeah. So
let me say this to you. My bad.
Go ahead, bro.
I'm trying to see. I got everything you said, 100% true. What can he do that at though? If you watch the statement that he released today, or it was in the exit interview, he basically said, "I'd rather be happy where I'm just winning, you know, I can play and be myself and play my game and be happy than to be unhappy and ring chase." So does he go to New York? Knicks?
He can go to New York.
If it's Brooklyn's ring chase, we know that it's Brooklyn's ring chase. And
it's not.
Brooklyn's a double. Well,
it's not ring chasing, though.
Well,
it's not ring chasing.
Because Brooklyn, you can possibly win a ring next year, depending on Ben Simmons back healthy. You got them.
Bro, he'll be a part of that team if he goes to Brooklyn. As a Knicks fan, it hurts me to say that. And I don't want to get too much into this because we're going to talk about this for literally the next 3 months, and we'll get you guys back on, I promise. But it could be one of the New York teams. I'll say that.
What about Phoenix? What you see about? We ain't going to touch on this too much, but what about Phoenix?
Yeah, Phoenix looks good, bro. Anything with Chris Paul. Again, everybody said, oh, he's going to play with LeBron, and this is going to be amazing. I was one of the few people like, bro, LeBron turns people into spot-up shooters. He doesn't, like, he was like, yo, he makes people better. He makes spot-up shooters better. Like, that's what he does. And Chris Paul, totally different. He'll get spot-up shooters their looks without a doubt, but he also knows where to get Devin Booker the ball. He knows where to get Melo the ball. And, like, in Houston, again, 10-game sample. We can't make any conclusions, but yeah. So, what was the question? What was the high point of the season? So, Robbie, you don't have one. So you took your few minutes to shit on the Lakers one more time.
Bro, I just my brain, bro. It's just we just rattled, bro. Just whatever's going on. I just feel like it doesn't have anything to do with Melo, but the high point of the season to me is just moving Bron to the power forward or center position, because it was a clear strategy there, and it actually worked. It was actually working very well. So I mean, the fact that they were able to do that, you know, and kind of work with that in the second team coming in and things of that nature. We still had trash third quarters. I have no idea what the hell they were talking about in the locker room. Like they were freaking eating freaking soul food or some shit, you know, and coming out and tired as hell with the itis. But that's my only high point. You know, we know Melo has some solid games, or you get hyped and you be like, dang, here they go taking them out. So, you know, the inconsistencies is kind of tough to really even say, like, you know, which high point that was. But just strategy alone, I just like the fact that they moved him and, you know, eventually they moved him back, and he started doing his stuff.
Yep.
And then we start losing games still anyway. So that's my only high point, bro.
Fair. Mine, real quick, I'll say this so we can get to the narrative control. I'm looking at this, and two are going through my mind. One, when he became 9th all time, which was mad cool. But I'm with Cord on this one. I think that Charlotte game, looking at the stats right now, and one thing we talk about is like, he was getting involved early in the season, which he was without a doubt. That game, he was 9 for 13 from the field.
Yep.
So 13 shots, which like he's had 13 shots a few times this season and has never scored as many points as he did that game, 29. And he was 7 of 10 from 3. So I just think he was in the zone and in a rhythm, and who knows if he really like it was because he was touching the ball and different things like he wasn't doing late in the season, but for whatever reason he was in a rhythm. And just seeing that shit, that was November 8th, bro. That was what, 2 weeks after the season started, 3 weeks after the season started. So that to me was mad cool. Almost a 30 rack. Carmelo versus LaMelo has been cool. It feels like he always balls out against LaMelo since LaMelo's came in the league. So I'm going to go with that too, but not many high points at all. So with all that being said, we made it 54 minutes, man. I'm going to be honest with you. I was like not trying to get out of here early, but I was like, I feel like shit. Let's just let them talk. And here we are fucking 54 minutes into this shit. So, good convo, bro. When fucking talk good convo with people who know what the fuck they're talking about. It's always fun. So, before I let you both out of here, I want to give you both the floor to control a narrative. It doesn't have to be Melo related. It doesn't have to be basketball related. It doesn't have to be sports related. So, whoever has one can take the floor to control a narrative.
I'll let you go first.
2 thinking faces right there. If you don't have one, it's cool.
Well, I have it's 1 and a 1.5 basically. So 1 is for all those non-Melo fans, all the ones who complain and was hyping him up and cheering for him when he made a 3 and had some good moments, and then you want to talk all that trash, when he plays bad and all that crap. Top 75, decorated Hall of Famer. As far as Olympics is concerned, one of the greatest scorer of all time. The disrespect that he's had over the years and the blackballing and all that crap, he's still literally talking professional. He's literally one of the most professional vets in the league. Still will get a bucket anytime he wants to. There's nothing you can do as far as you're not supporting him or whatever the case is, because Melo is still going to go out the way he's going to go out. And, regardless of whatever Jalen Green said, you go look up his stats, it wasn't even that bad. He played defense very well. There was only certain things that was, bad about the defense, but overall it's a team thing. It's a team defense. So if Frank didn't change anything the whole entire season, even before he got here, what do you think was going to happen when they put him in the mix? So all the non-basketball fans talking and not actually analyzing stats, not actually analyzing the game correct, y'all should really be quiet. Y'all should really go watch some freaking soccer or something like that, a little bit slower pace for you. Maybe even hockey, maybe go, do something else, because you don't need to be in this game talking crap at all, because you just don't know what the hell you're talking about. And the 0.5 is just to Melo. Your fans want to see you go out, in a great way. For you to be on the Lakers, for me, it was a like a dream come true. But seeing how Kobe went out, obviously with the injury and stuff like that, that hurt, but he still went out, strong. So for Melo, I mean, I would love for you to go out strong, and if you're not gonna go out strong on the Lakers, bro, you gotta get the freak out of there. I don't care about all that professionalism stuff. We Melo fans want to see you go crazy. We want to see you get your what do they call it, farewell tour. We want to see all that stuff. We want to see the respect. So please do not hide under. I'm not saying you are hiding, but don't be under LeBron. Get the freak out. So that's my message to Melo. So
yeah, because all the things that Melo did this year in year 19. It wasn't talked about because there was another guy on the team who was getting more opportunities. So
yeah.
Cord, what narrative you want to control, bro?
I'm gonna take the 1.5 route like he did.
Go ahead.
To the fans, to the media and all that. Like, stop hating so much. Like, just if you ain't really into basketball, just say that. Like, for real. If you just don't like Melo, then just say that. That's cool too. But like, dude is still like a elite bucket. Like, in a decent defender. He's not terrible like y'all saying he is. Nobody really playing defense in the league now. All these teams scoring 140, 150. It's a reason they're scoring 140, 150. So y'all killed it. Like you said, top 75 for a reason. Number 9 all time. He'll be number 8 in the first month of next season or whatever. First month or two. How many? Like a couple hundred behind Shaq or whatever. Like, dude, kill it. And like, George Carl, stop the hate. Give it up. Dang. You want everybody to hop on the Melo hate wagon, bro. He's still in the league. He's still going. You at home with no job. Like, worry about yourself and your health and your family, dude. Like, ball don't stop. That's why I love ball don't stop. He keep it real. He know the game. What's his name? Eckham? Yeah, he know the game. Like, and he a real Melo fan because he a real basketball hit. So, like, y'all stop all the hate. Like, just and to Melo, man, do what makes you happy, bro. Like, we want to, us as real Melo fans, we want to see you go out, not just settling, just sitting back like, okay, like he said, professional. We want you to be professional because that's how you're gonna play as long as you need to play because teams respect you. They know you're gonna act accordingly. But still, like, go out on your own terms, bro. Like, we know what you can do. Like, we see it. You know, you can average 18 to 20 right now, probably on any team that really give you a chance to do that. So it's just like, if going to New York make you happy, do that. If going to Brooklyn make you happy, do that. If you want to go play with CP, do that. If it's Chicago, Milwaukee or something, Miami maybe, I mean, do that. So, like, let's keep putting it in their face, Melo. Like, you got another 2 or 3 years left in you, from what I see, easily. Easily. So, I mean, because you're not playing a ton of minutes, 25, 30 minutes a night, 20 to 30 minutes somewhere in between is good. Like, just, I mean, like he said, if it sounds like the situation was toxic and he may be out of LA because, you know, it sounds like it's a lot going on. You could tell Melo being professional, he ain't really speaking on the Russ, kind of like did a little bit more talking to Melo. Yeah, but like, just do what make you happy, Melo. I want to see you like keep killing it, bro. Like, just go out on your own terms.
Hopefully it's in blue and orange. I'll say that. Yeah. But
maybe with Dame.
Maybe, yeah, fuck that. No, they got a lot of shit going on over in Portland too. But
yeah. I mean with Dame in New York, they can pull it off. Yeah,
I'm with that.
Yeah,
I'm with that.
Yeah.
Or Donovan Mitchell, either way.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he want to go back to the crib.
It's gonna be it's gonna be a very telling offseason for Carmelo in terms of like what he really cares about, because obviously he's in Portland was one thing, but LA he was obviously going for a ring. So, and
another thing with Melo, I know you about to end, but he kind of got to wait to the late part of free agency because he got to see how everybody moves because he a veteran minimum guy. So if free agency hit July 1st, it may take him. It might take him. Yeah, somewhere like that. It might take him to that third week because he want to see how the big parts move first. Yeah. He know how these GMs thinking. Like y'all said, salary wise. He like, let me not go over there. They got too many.
Bro, he literally said that. He said he's not even trying to think about none of that crap. Yeah. Like he gonna wait. So yeah, you're definitely on the money with that.
He'll be in the gym with Brickley in 3 weeks.
Yep. That's it.
And it's just training and going. You'll see him on the AAU circuit all summer with his son. Yep. And then it's gonna really push him to New York because he like, damn, I'm missing out on my son, bro. And they treat him like that in LA, really. I'm missing out on my son. Like, exactly. It's gonna be New York or Brooklyn. I ain't gonna lie, I think, honestly. But that's the main reason, because his son. But like you said, he just he gotta follow his heart, man, and what will make him happy. He said it today. Bro, I know rings are everything to y'all. Hell yeah, I want to win a ring, but I won't choose that over my happiness, bro. He learned that lesson this year.
I was gonna say, hopefully he follows through with that this summer. I guess we'll see. But yo, Raby, Cord, I appreciate both of you more than you know for hopping on with me and kind of carrying the episode tonight. Not in it right now. Not in it tonight.
Sure. You did a good job.
Yeah, you did a good job. Get right.
Over an hour with you guys. So appreciate you both. we'll probably try to get you guys back on so we could really get into this free agency shit and a few months from now. But until then, I appreciate both of you.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you, man.
Peace, boys.